All right, so we're going to go ahead and begin. And for those of you that have just signed on, I'll just say again, good morning. Welcome to Wednesday Gentle. And we're going to be using a block, a strap, and then also it's always nice to have a blanket. We do spend some time on our knees, and it just, you can always double your mat if you don't have a blanket handy, which I'll demo for you, but it's just nice to have that extra piece of equipment. So let's go ahead and begin. We're going to begin a little bit differently this morning. Where I am, it's a little cloudy outside. I'm not sure where you are, if it is, but sometimes that does make us feel a little sluggish and tired. So we're going to start out in a little bit more of a relaxing way. We're actually going to start out on our backs. So have your strap handy, maybe put it up towards the side of your mat that you're going to actually end up with your head on. So right now I'm sitting in the middle of my mat. I'm just going to bring my legs together, my knees together, and then press my fingertips into the mat, swing my legs around, and actually come on down very gently. Because we're not warmed up, I think it's important to come down to your mat, maybe on your elbows. This is actually a fish pose. And then come all the way down, just resting your head, almost as though you're in Shavasana, maybe squeezing your shoulders underneath you. And let's just begin, once we're in this position, to connect our breath and center. So let's go ahead and just let everything go, just melt right into your mat. Leave all your worries at the door. Let's not worry about what we have going on after the class. Let's not worry about what has happened earlier this morning. Let go of anything that's happened in the past or that may be going on in the future, good or bad or indifferent. Let's just let it go, and this next hour belongs to you. So with that in mind, let's take a deep breath in from the belly through our nose. Breathing up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then exhaling out through our nose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Making that breath a little bit longer on the exhale, just to allow that stress, anxiety, and all the stuff in the world just to sink away and hopefully be absorbed by our mat. Let's try that again. Breathing in deeply from the belly, up through the collarbone, in through the back of the throat, and then exhale long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on your next breath, do this again, and let's think about our shoulders on the exhale. So breathing in from the belly, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then exhale, let it all come out of your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, allowing the shoulders just to inch down a little deeper into the mat. And at this time, you can set an intention for today's practice. It might just be a simple word like peace, love, gratitude, kindness, just a beautiful word that brings light to your heart and peace to your mind. Take one more deep breath in. Deep breath in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're nice and relaxed now. So let's go ahead and just grab our strap. And we're just going to think about our feet. And on the right side, just press that right foot into the mat and draw that foot all the way up till that knee is bent. And just for a moment, feel how the mat feels to the bottom of your foot and the lightness that your body feels as it's lying on the mat, and just the peace that your body's feeling with your breath. And then let's untangle our strap, just bring it together. Maybe have about 2 inches width, and hold that up to the sky, up to the ceiling. And we're just going to look up for just a moment, bend our knee and place our foot right in between that strap and lift that foot up towards the ceiling. Maybe even pull that foot up towards our body on the right side. And then gather your strap together, place it all on your right side because your right side is going to be working. You're going to be holding the strap with your right side. And we're going to do a little bit of a flow with our breath. And you're going to love this. Draw your toes towards your face. And then on your next breath, just bring that leg over to the right side. It doesn't have to touch the floor. It's okay if it does. And just hold on to your strap. And then inhale, bring that leg right back up. And you're going to take the left hand and switch sides. Hold the strap with your left hand. Let that right hand just drop down very gracefully to the floor. And with your next breath, bring that right leg to the left side. Maybe your hip's going to come up off the mat a little bit on the right side, and that's okay. And then come right back up. Inhale, leg comes up, switch hands. Exhale, leg comes to the right. We're going to keep going on this. Inhale, leg comes up, switch hands. Exhale, gracefully bring that leg to the left. Inhale, leg comes up to the sky. Exhale, leg comes down to the right. Let's do one more round. Inhale, leg comes up to the ceiling, switch hands. Exhale, leg comes to the left. Last time up, inhale, leg comes up to the ceiling. Squeeze those toes towards your forehead, just hold that, feel the difference, and then point your toes. And then draw those toes towards your forehead. Feel the difference. You're really working that sciatica nerve all the way down your right leg. Now we're going to just bend that right leg, remove the strap, let that right foot touch the mat. Notice the feel of the mat underneath your foot, and then just slide that foot all the way down your mat. And you're back into Shavasana. And we're going to do the other side. So on your next breath, go ahead and press that left foot into the mat and just slide that foot right up to about where the knee is on the right leg. So left foot is bent, right leg is flat down. And then we're going to take our strap. Same strategy. Hold it up. Take your time. Maybe lift your head up just so you can see that your strap is going right in the center of that foot. And then bring your straps together. Take your excess part to the left side. And this time the left arm is going to do the beginning of the work. Right arm just rests. So with your breath, go ahead and on your next breath, bring that leg on the left side all the way to the left wall. And then inhale, back up, switch hands. Right hand takes over, left hand gracefully falls down. Leg comes to the right side. Inhale the leg up towards the ceiling, switch hands. Exhale to the left. Inhale up to the ceiling, switch hands. Exhale to the right. One more round. Inhale, leg comes up to the ceiling, switch hands. Exhale, leg comes to the left. Next breath, leg comes straight back up to the ceiling, and then we're going to just very gently bend that knee, release that strap, keep it handy, but you can move it off to the side, and then just bend that knee on the left side, pressing that foot back into the mat. And let's go ahead and bend the right knee as well and press that foot into the mat. Let's go ahead and bring our arms out to a T. Nice relaxing pose right here. And with our breath, we're going to windshield wipe our knees side to side. So inhale, let the knees fall to the right. Exhale, let the knees fall to the left. And if you want to move your head side to side in the opposite direction, that's really nice to do as well. So when the knees come to the left, move your gaze to the right. When the knees come to the right, move your gaze to the left. We hold a lot of tension in our neck and the top parts of our back. And it's so nice to do any kind of favor exercise to this part of our body. Let's do one more round. Knees to the right, and the knees to the left. And then slowly bring those knees back up. Let's take our arms, reach them around, grab our knees, and give ourselves a little hug. We can make some little gentle rocks side to side. And then very slowly on your next breath, roll to your right side. Make a little pillow for your head. This is often how we end our classes, but we're going to begin this way today. And let's stay here for one more breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then slowly begin to press yourself up into a comfortable seated position. And hopefully you're feeling great and ready to begin. If you like, it's always nice to take a block and place it underneath while we're in an easy pose and just sit on that block. It adds a little bit of height. It takes a lot of stress off of the hip connectors, allows the knees just to flop onto the floor, allows for better posture. So that's an option if you have a block. If you don't, you can use a cushion, or you can just sit with your sit bones pressed firmly into your mat. Always an option not to use your props if you don't care to. Let's go ahead and bring our shoulders up towards our ears, reaching them up, and then roll them back open, creating a little bit of space. Something else that happens a lot during this unusual time that we're in during COVID is we're sitting more at our desks, maybe on our sofas, at chairs at home, and naturally the body tends to curl in a little bit. We round our shoulders in. We're hunched over looking at our cell phones or our iPads, what have you. So we're going to work on opening that up and correcting that posture today. So with your hands, go ahead and sweep the arms up towards the ceiling and palms come together. And then we're going to bend our elbows so we're framing our face. Fingertips are going to face up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to rotate those fingertips to the back wall. You might even feel the bottom part of your wrist hitting the back of your head. Try to keep your head still during this. And then we're going to come back up. We're going to do this with our breath. So on the next breath, inhale, reach to the back wall. Exhale, fingertips come up towards the ceiling. Inhale, fingertips to the back wall. Exhale, fingertips to the ceiling. 2 more. Inhale to the back wall. Exhale, fingertips to the ceiling. 1 more. Inhale to the back wall. Exhale, fingertips to the ceiling. Continuing working on our rounded back, we're going to just clasp our hands together and then bring them right behind our head, almost like a little hammock. And we're going to draw our elbows in to touch. Now, they may not actually touch. And once again, we're going to keep our neck and our head as still as we possibly can. You can adjust your fingers a little bit if you need to get those elbows a little closer together. Let's try to do 5 of these with our breath. Inhale, elbows touch. Exhale, out to the side. 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 Nice. Before we do our next one, let's just do a few little shoulder rolls. Just rolling your shoulders. Hands can be on your thighs. And then let's reverse those shoulder rolls, other direction. And then coming back to neutral. We're going to sweep our hands back up to the ceiling. This time the hands are going to clasp together, a lot like we did on the last one. And then we're going to frame our head with our elbow. So we're going to be doing a little framework like this. So we're going to do 5 of these with our breath. So inhale, elbow is on the right. And then exhale, left elbow comes to the head. Inhale, right side. Exhale, left side. Inhale, right side. exhale, left side. One more. Inhale, right side, exhale, left side. And then go ahead and release this, and let's do those shoulder rolls again. Just roll the shoulders. Hearing that breath of yours in the back of your throat, and then reversing your shoulders. If you're not hearing the breath in the back of your throat, try this. When you're breathing in, breathe in as though you're surprised to see somebody through your nose. And when you're breathing out, breathe through your nostrils as though you're fogging up a mirror. And you're going to start to hear that in the back of your throat. And it's easy to lose it. So I remind you of that, just to hear that breath in the back of your throat. Let's continue with our work. Go ahead and take your hands, place them right on your waist. We're still working on the hunched shoulders, or lack thereof, which we don't want to have. So we're actually going to hunch our shoulders this time. We're going to round our back, round that spine, squeeze the shoulder blades apart from one another, squeezing the shoulders together. And then on your next breath, you're going to open up the chest and reach those elbows as far back to the back wall as you can. We're going to do 10 of these. So with your breath, inhale, hunch, fold forward. Exhale, back with your elbows. Inhale, hunch forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Halfway there. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Nice. Let's come off of our block. Just place that to the side. We're just going to finish stretching out the body. We're going to send our right leg forward, send our left leg forward. Draw your toes towards your forehead, and we're going to take a little fold, working on that low back. So you can sweep your arms up towards the ceiling, reach forward. You don't have to touch your toes. If you like, you can just touch the floor. Take your gaze towards your toes and maybe draw your toes a little closer to your forehead. Feel the difference. Holding this, hearing that breath in the back of your throat. Nice work. And then draw your feet together for a bound angle. Sitting up nice and tall, let's go ahead and bring our arms out to the side. And on your next breath, you're going to just rotate the arms so that the right hand touches the left shoulder and the left arm goes back behind. Try to find your fingers and actually touch your fingers together. And the next breath, we're going to do that same thing. Bring our arms out and rotate the left hand to the right shoulder. Right arm goes back. We see if we can find those fingers. And let's do that again. It's almost a flow. Arms come out. Inhale, right arm goes to the left shoulder. Reach, reach, reach back behind. Exhale, arms come out. Inhale, reach that right hand to left hand to the right shoulder. Reach, 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 reach. Exhale, arms come back. Go ahead and give yourself a hug. Squeeze. Right arm is over the left. Arms come out. And then we'll do that one more time. Give yourself a hug. Left arm comes over the right. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then release. Take your hands and bring those knees up together. And then we're slowly going to come into our tabletop. Now this is where you might want a blanket. If you have sensitive knees, we are going to be here for a short time. So you have a couple of choices. You can put a blanket down right on your mat, or you might even have a knee pad you can use. If you don't have those items, you can actually take your mat and just fold it over, and voila, you have an instant knee pad. So lots of options here. I'm going to go ahead and demo the blanket, give you time to set that up. And then once we're all together, we'll just meet up in our tabletop pose. So at this time, just flatten your feet and let's just bring our hips over towards that left wall and then bring your hips over to the right wall. This is called wagging the dog's tail, and it just kind of helps the spine get a little bit warmed up side to side. And of course, we're going to be doing our cat-cows as well, which will warm up the spine. And as we're doing this, take a look at your hands. Make sure that your hands are active. Make sure that your fingertips are almost spider fingers, and that the tips of your fingers are pressing so hard and so deep into your mat that they're leaving little indentions in your mat. And the reason we do this, have active hands versus dead hands, it really does protect your wrists, especially when you're in a tabletop or when you're in a downward facing dog position. So while we're here, let's take some cat-cows. Let's breathe in for cow. Exhale for cat, drawing that chin in towards our chest. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. And then inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Nice work. And we're going to do a little balance here. So on your next breath, go ahead and send that right hand out. The thumb is going to face the ceiling. Send that back foot out. The toe's going to face the floor. And so you have your right hand out, left foot out. And before we do anything else, we're going to do a little touch exercise. So inhale, touch the knee to the elbow. Exhale, come right back out again. Inhale, touch the knee to the elbow. Exhale, come right back out. You're working your abs, you're working your low back, lots of core strength going on here. And then on your next breath, we're going to stay right here for balance. Now, if you want a little bit more than this, you can take your right arm, reach back behind, find that left foot, and reach it up towards the ceiling. Maybe lift it up even higher. We're going to hold this. Take your gaze to the ground. Hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just the palm of the right hand comes down. Foot stays up. And the toe is going to rotate towards that back wall. We're going to work our glutes, which is a really important part of our body. So we sit a lot. This will help us so much. And we're just going to lift that foot up towards the ceiling. We're going to lift it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to lower that knee and do some deep hip circles, reaching those hips back towards our heels, moving the spine, maybe the shoulders, maybe even the head along with the rest of the body. Slowly with our breath, inhale, exhale. And on about the 3rd time around, just reverse those circles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you want to switch it to 4 and 4, that's perfectly fine. When you add that extra breath, it just relieves a little more, releases a little more stress and strain. And then meeting back up into our tabletop. Let's take care of the left side. So reaching out that left hand, thumb faces the ceiling, reaching back that right foot, toes face the floor. Let's do our little touches. So inhale, touch your knee to your elbow. Exhale, send it back out again. Inhale, touch. Exhale, send it out. Inhale, touch. Exhale, out, and then it's time for balance. So stay right here or reach back behind if you want a little bit more. Grab that foot, lift it up towards the ceiling, maybe even a little higher. Let's hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then just the palm on the left hand comes down. The toe stays up, but the toe is going to shoot towards that back wall. And then we're going to lift. Lift, feeling it in our glutes. Back of the thigh for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then lower down. Let's take a final cat-cow here. Breathing in for cow. Exhaling for cat. Take a look at your fingertips. Make sure they're pressed into your mat and active. Let's go ahead and tuck our toes. We're going to come up into a down dog. If you're wanting to move your blanket, you can just move that out of the way once you're in your down dog. So let's go ahead and lift up the knees, maybe quickly move your blanket aside, and then lift the hips up. And we're in our first downward facing dog of the day. And if you want to pedal out, working on your calf muscles, this is a great time to do that. Just take your gaze towards that back wall and bend one knee. Notice how the heel comes down on the opposite side. Staying here for another breath as we inhale and we exhale. And then on our next breath, we're going to go ahead and raise the right leg. Lift it up towards the sky, point that toe, reach that toe towards the ceiling into three-legged dog. And then we'll bend the knee. Maybe as you draw the knee through, setting up for a warrior one, your knee might even touch your chest. I'm going to face you for warrior one. So for warrior one, check back once you're in it to make sure that your left foot is facing about 11 o'clock. Arms are reaching towards the ceiling. Fingertips are spread as wide as you can get them. Knee is stacked right over the ankle. Holding this, breathing, hearing it in the back of your throat. Nice work. And then on your next breath, just turn that into a warrior two. Taking your gaze right in between your fingers, trying to stack your shoulders right over your hips. Knee is bent. And we're going to do a little flow here. So on your next breath, go ahead and take your left arm and wrap it behind you. Flip the palm of the right hand up and send it up towards the ceiling for a reverse warrior. And then exhale, come right back into warrior two. Take a breath. Inhale. Reverse your warrior. Exhale, warrior two. We're going to do one more. Next breath. Inhale. Reverse your warrior. Exhale, warrior two. And then on your next breath, go ahead and just rotate at the waist. So arms are facing opposite walls and press down into the mat. Let's go ahead and send that right leg back. And so you're right back into your down dog. But we're going to take a little break here. We're going to drop the knees. And we're going to slide the toes together so the big toes touch. The knees are going to be pretty wide, right outside the edge of your mat. And then we're going to press back into a child's pose. And we're going to walk our hands slowly towards the top of our mat, sinking our chest as deeply as we can into the mat. Now back off and be careful if your shoulders are bothering you at all. In fact, if they are, you can always just bring your arms along your body's side. If your shoulders are good and okay, we're going to twist this up a little bit and thread the needle. So on your next breath, go ahead and reach the right arm up towards the ceiling and thread it right underneath the left. And you can just press your right ear into the mat. Now you can stay right here. If you want a little bit more, you can lift the left palm up and just bring the arm behind you. Let it rest and open up through the chest. And let's hold this wherever you decided to stay. Let's hold this. Breath travels up the spine. Breath travels down the spine. Let's do that again, hearing that in the back of your throat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice work. And then go ahead and release this. Coming back up to neutral. If you have your hands back by the side, you might just quickly bring them forward and take a little stretch and then return them to the sides. Your choice. Otherwise, we will thread the needle on the other side. So on your next breath, go ahead and raise the left hand. Reach it up. And just thread it underneath the right arm. This time, your left ear is going to press into the mat. Option to stay right here or to take that right hand and reach it back behind you, holding this, staying. And I'm going to come up to the screen and just check on everybody and make sure everybody's doing well. It looks like everybody is. Very nice. All righty. And staying for one more breath here. And then on your next breath, go ahead and bring your fingertips back to the top of your mat. And if they're by your body side, just go ahead and slide them up to the top of your mat. Let's take a breath in. Exhale out. And then we're going to slide our hands towards our body, draw our knees right back underneath our hips. We don't need our blanket because we're not going to stay here for very long. We're going to tuck our toes and do the left side. So go ahead and lift the knees and then lift the hips, coming all the way up into your downward facing dog. And press your fingertips into your mat. Go ahead and work out the muscles in your calves by pedaling out your feet. Your gaze is to the back of the wall. And let's stay here for another breath. Inhale, exhale. And then on your next breath, go ahead and raise the left leg, point the toe, reach towards the ceiling, three-legged dog. And then bend that knee. We're making our way into a warrior one on the left side. And if you have trouble getting your foot to land in between your palms, you can take your hand on the left side and just give it a little help. I do that all the time. And I'm going to face you. And we're in warrior one. And maybe check back at your foot and make sure it's facing about 2 o'clock. Your arms are straight. They're reaching towards the ceiling. Your fingertips are spread as wide as possible. Nice bend in the knee. Inhale. Exhale. Feeling really good. Maybe creating a little bit of a fire, holding this and feeling your heart rate go up a little bit. And then on your next breath, just come right into your warrior two. Checking to make sure your knee is stacked right over your ankle. Shoulders are as squared as possible over the hips. Taking your gaze right in between your fingers and breathing. Inhale. Exhale. And then we're going to do that same little flow. So taking that right hand, reaching it back behind you, and then reaching the left arm up toward the ceiling. Exhale, warrior two. Next breath, palm goes up on the left side, right arm reaches behind, reverse your warrior. And then exhale, warrior two. We're going to do one more just like this. Inhale. And warrior two. Reverse, and then exhale right back into your warrior two. Nice work. On your next breath, you're going to rotate at the waist, just like we did the last time, and you're going to press your palms down. We're going to do something a little bit different this time. The right foot is going to bend at the knee and just hop forward so it meets that left foot. And just turn this into a ragdoll. So you're just going to be in a ragdoll position, which means you're just in a forward fold. You could put a little bend in the knees. Maybe your chest just rests right on your thighs. You have a few options here. You can let the hands just dangle, or you can interlace your elbows, maybe even make some little movements side to side. One of my favorite things to do is to clasp my hands together, bring them to the back of my head, maybe the top part of my neck, give myself a little massage. Oh, that feels so nice. With the bottom parts of your palms just pressing into your head. And then if you want to just let your hands dangle, you can do that too. Shaking your head, yes. Shaking your head, no. And then very slowly, 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 we're going to come up so we don't get dizzy. The head is the very last thing to come up. And once you're up, let's go ahead and look at our feet. We're at the top of our mat. It's hard for you to tell on my mat because I'm in the middle, but you're at the top of your mat and you bring your feet about hip distance. Let's go ahead and sweep our arms up towards the ceiling for our mountain pose and try lifting all 10 toes. Holding this, maybe your gaze is looking at the ceiling. And then exhale, Tadasana. And we're going to make this a powerful posture pose. You're going to squeeze your face, squeeze your arms so hard that you feel the backs of your arms. Squeeze your belly, draw that belly button in towards your spine. Lift your kneecaps, and you're going to find that your thighs just ignite and turn right on. Squeeze your calf muscles, lift all 10 toes. Hold this, squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. It's hard work. You might even be feeling like you're going to start to sweat. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Make sure you're breathing. And then exhale, let it all go. Ah, doesn't that feel great? And we're going to do a very, very quick balance because we already did some balance earlier in our table. So if you'd like to, you can go up against a wall, or you can step off your mat if it's a little thick, or if it's on carpet. It's hard to balance when it's on carpet. And you can be next to a chair so you have something to hold on to. Lots of options here. And today we're just going to do an eagle pose. So we're going to place all of our weight on our left foot. And with our right foot, we're just going to tap it a few times just to kind of get used to our balance, holding on to whatever support that you need to. If you don't need any support, you can just put your hands on your waist for now. And then go ahead and raise that leg up and wrap it around the left. And if you have to come out of it and then go back into it, that's okay. If you need a little kickstand for your balance, you can do that as well. Trying to keep your feet off the ground except for that standing leg. And then bringing your hands to heart center. Maybe bending down in the knee a little bit more. Now this may be your eagle. If you want a little bit more, hold your hands out as though you're holding a tray and just lift the right hand up a little bit, wrap it around the left, and then bring the elbows up a little bit. And once you're there, let's hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And I imagine if you're like me, that standing leg is hurting a little bit and aching. So we're just going to press the toes of that standing leg into the mat and rotate the ankle. Just rotate it with our breath, hearing our breath. Inhale, exhale, and then let's reverse those circles. Inhale, exhale, and then let's switch sides. But before we switch sides, let's do another mountain Tadasana. It's so good for us. So let's bring our feet about hip distance apart. Reverse swan dive, reaching our arms up towards the ceiling, spreading those fingers wide, maybe lifting your toes as well. Reach, 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 reach. Arms towards the ears. And then exhale into Tadasana. Let's turn it all on. Let's squeeze our face. Make a face. Squeeze your arms so that you really feel your triceps, the backs of the arms. Squeeze the fingertips. Squeeze and tuck the belly. Squeeze that belly button in towards the spine. Tuck the tailbone. Lift the kneecaps. Oh boy, those thighs are turned on. Squeeze the calf muscles. Keep squeezing, keep shaking, and then release. Oh, doesn't that feel great? And then we will do the other side. So this time your standing leg is going to be the opposite one that you used the last time for me. It's my right side. And I'm going to take my hands, option, of course, to hold on to a piece of furniture or the wall, but I'm going to take my hands and put them on my waist. And I'm just going to begin to tap, tap, tap that left foot just to get used to the balance. And then I'm going to lift that knee, wrap it around the right. Use that kickstand if you need to. Sides are different. And then press the palms together. And maybe this is your eagle pose. Nothing wrong with that. It's beautiful. If you want to make it a little deeper, go ahead and reach your tray out. Hold out your arms for your tray. Lift that left arm. Reach it over the right. Squeeze everything around each other and lift through the elbows. Maybe even lower yourself through your knees a little bit. Maybe even wrap your thumbs together and hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Let's take care of the standing leg on this side. Just press those toes into the mat and rotate very gently that ankle. Hearing your breath in the back of your throat. And then moving that to the other side. Nice work. Great time to revisit the breath and make sure you are breathing through the nose, out through the nose, the healthiest way to breathe all the time. And then go ahead and come back to your mat if you've stepped off of it. Come up to the very top of your mat. And we're going to bring our feet, once we're at the top of our mat, out to about the length of our hips. Let's take our shoulders and think about our posture and reach our shoulders up towards our ears, roll them back open, creating all that nice chest room and the room in our collarbone so we can breathe nicely. Let's reverse swan dive, reaching our arms up towards the ceiling, holding it, holding it, holding it. And this time we're going to take a fold. Exhale, take a fold. And I'm going to turn sideways just so you can see. Inhale, halfway lift. Your back is going to be super flat. You could put a glass of water on it and it would not spill. And on your next breath, go ahead and press the palms back down into your mat. And you're back into a tabletop. Now we're not going to stay in the table very long, so I'm not going to demo the blanket. We're going to tuck our toes, and then we're going to just sit back onto our toes. Maybe the baby toes didn't get a lot of action, so you can just lift them up and press them into the mat. And this is good for plantar fasciitis. This is really called hero's pose. We might as well use our wrists while we're at it and just rotate our wrists as we hold this pose. If you wear high heels or if you do a lot of walking, this is a good thing just to prevent any kind of lumps or bumps forming on the bottoms of your feet. We're not going to stay here much longer. Don't worry. I know it's not the most comfortable. Hear your breath. And on your next breath, take your hands and press them into your mat and flatten the feet. And let's pedal them out a little bit. Give them a little bit of relief. And then on the next breath, we're just going to sit back onto our heels, sit up nice and tall, stretching out our ankles after all of that eagle balancing. And take your hands, make a little fist, and just rotate the wrists. Hearing that breath. Breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice work. And then on your next breath, let's go ahead and come back into an easy pose. Very, very briefly. We're not going to stay here very long. We're just going to do a few little stretches. We're going to sit up nice and tall. Shoulders are going to go up towards the ears, roll them back, and we're going to raise our right hand. We're going to take care of all that stress and strain we hold in our necks. So reaching across our head, all the way across till our right hand finds our left ear, we're going to just draw our right ear into our right shoulder. Now my eyes always close when this happens. I hope yours do too. Should feel really nice, very relaxing. And hold this for another breath. Inhale, exhale, and then release that hand. We're going to take that same hand and put it on the back of our skull. And then we're going to draw our nose to our right armpit. Try to see the back of the wall, maybe even the floor off your mat, and ooh, you're going to feel it in your spine. Maybe on the right side of the spine. Very nice. And then releasing that, place your hand back on your knee, and let's just roll our shoulders side to side. Look at the left wall, and then roll your shoulder and look at the right wall. And then roll, I should say not shoulder, roll your neck and look at the left wall, and roll your neck, look at the right wall. Let's do it one more time. Roll your neck, look at the left wall, roll your neck, look at the right wall. And then let's take care of the left side. Go ahead and raise your left hand. Reach it all the way across. Find your right ear and draw that left ear to your left shoulder. Feel free to close your eyes. Enjoy hearing that ocean breath, that ujjayi breath in the back of your throat. Breathing in surprised, exhaling, fogging up a mirror, and then releasing that, taking that same hand, placing it on the back of your skull, and just drawing your nose towards your left armpit. Maybe try to see the floor outside your mat and feeling it on the left part of your spine. Say goodbye to all that tension, all that strain you've been storing up without even knowing it. And then releasing this. Let's take one more quick stretch, a couple more quick stretches while we're in this position. Let's take our right leg and let's send it out in front of us, actually to the side of us. And if you look down, it looks like we're in a bit of a tree position. So nice, we're already set up. So the left leg is bent and that left foot is right into the thigh. Take your waist and just rotate it so it's facing that right foot. And you have two options here. If your strap is close and handy to you, you can just grab your strap, place it on your foot, and maybe walk your hands down and give yourself a little stretch there. If the strap isn't close to you, just sweep your arms up towards the ceiling and take a little fold. The beauty with this is you don't have to touch your toes. I see so many people doing that, and that can cause a lot of injury. So instead, you can just draw your toes towards your forehead, try that, and you will get all the stretch you need, and then maybe play around with it. Point your toes, and then draw your toes towards your forehead, and ooh, you feel that stretch? Really nice. And then let's come on up, and while we're here, let's take a full dragon. Let's send that left leg out. If you have a block handy, not necessary, but it's always kind of nice to have one. You can place it on level 1, level 2, or level 3, and you can just rest your elbows and just hang out here. Look at your toes, maybe draw them up towards your forehead. Ooh, feel that difference, very nice. And play around with it. Maybe try the block on level 2, see if you can go a little deeper. Actually, this is level 1, level 2. Nice. Holding this. And then release that. Replace your block, and we will do the left side. So taking that right leg, bending it, and just setting up what almost looks like that tree pose. So the right foot goes right into the left thigh. Take your waist and rotate your waist towards that foot. Sweep your arms up towards the ceiling and take a little fold. Make sure that you also have your strap available if you prefer to have your strap. So reaching down below and breathing in, exhaling out, nice. And then come on up, very nice. And let's go ahead and come back to an easy pose. We're not gonna stay here long. We're eventually going to bring our knees together and make sure your equipment is out of the way. We're gonna place our hands to the side and gently make our way onto our backs. So once again, you have a choice here. So let me back up a little bit. If you want a little bit of ab work, you can sit up nice and tall and you can bring your hands out like this. And the thumbs are gonna go up towards the ceiling and you just slowly come down. Maybe you even stop. Give yourself a little abdominal work. Come on down slowly. Come on down slowly, all the way till you get to the edge of your mat. If you want to keep it more gentle, then just come on down and place your right elbow down to the mat, and then place your left elbow down to the mat, almost in a fish pose, and then slowly lower all the way till your head is reaching the mat. Once we're all down where we started our practice today, make sure that you have lots of clear space on either side of you. Straps are out of the way. And we're gonna just bend the knees and press that low back into the mat. And then release, and then press the low back into the mat. And let's do that one more time. Inhale, release. Exhale, press the low back into the mat. Go ahead and grab your knees. Give yourself a little hug, pulling the knees in. And then turn this into a happy baby, grabbing the outside edges of your feet or the big toe and the second toe, and make some little gentle rocks side to side. Hearing your breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And then we're going to just bring those knees right to hover, right over our hips. Bring your arms out to a T. And we're going to set up for our supine twist. But before we do that, let's take some nice breaths here. Do some breath work. This is a great place to do it. So breathing in deeply, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then exhale through your mouth. It's a lion's breath. And then on your next breath, we'll go back to regular Ujjayi breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Let those knees fall to the right. Take your gaze over your left shoulder. Now, if you want a deeper stretch, you can extend that left leg over the right bent knee. If you really, really want a deeper stretch, you can eagle the legs like we did in balance today, where you actually twist the legs around each other. But be careful. You may need to back off if you try it, because it really does affect the low back. It's a great, wonderful stretch, but just go easy if you do have any injuries or any kind of low back issues. And let's continue to hold this. Inhale, exhale. Breath travels up the spine. Breath travels down the spine. One more breath here. Inhale, exhale, and then bring those knees right back up to hover, right over the hips. Let's do another lion's breath here. So take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lion's breath out. Don't be afraid to make a noise. It's okay. And then take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, let those knees fall to the left. Take your gaze over your right shoulder. Glue those shoulders to the mat. And whatever you did on the right side with your twist, give it a try on the left. Sides are different, so if you need to make changes, that is okay. We're going to stay here for about 3 breaths. Inhale, exhale. Breath travels up the spine. Breath travels down the spine. Breathe in. Exhale out. And let's go ahead and draw those knees to hover right over the hips. And while our feet are in the air, we're going to press them together and slowly lower them down to the mat. This is Supta Baddha Konasana, also known as a butterfly pose. Once your feet reach the mat, you can take your hands and very gently press them onto your thighs. Put just a little bit of pressure onto the thighs. Maybe close your eyes. And then on your next breath, bring your right leg out, right outside your mat. And on your next breath, bring your left leg out, right outside your mat. So your legs are kind of wide. Let your hands just rest, palms facing the ceiling. We're setting up for Shavasana now. And while you're in Shavasana, just close your eyes. Let's move our neck side to side, releasing any of that leftover strain and stress that we've stored up in our neck area. Soften through your forehead, soften through your cheeks. Allow for the tongue to come off the roof of the mouth and drop into the lower palate. If you'd like to, you can move your jawbone side to side. It may help if your teeth were clenched. And just begin to melt your shoulders, your elbows and wrists, your chest, your abdominal cavity, your hip girdle, your knees, your ankles, everything just melt right into your mat. Let it all go. Let's take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just enjoy. Allow yourself to be still. Close your eyes. You rest into Shavasana. We're going to stay here for about 10 breaths. And very slowly, very, very gently, begin to bring some movement and awakening into your body, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, maybe rotating your wrists, your ankles. If you'd like to, you can draw your knees up into your chest, or just slide them up your mat and windshield wipe them side to side, right to left. Waking up the body slowly, gently. Any kind of movement that feels good. And then on your next breath, let's all reach into a pencil pose. We're going to reach our arms to the back wall, reach your toes towards the front wall. Everything's still on the mat. Just reaching, 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 stretching your body, making it as long as you can. Maybe you'll grow an inch while you do this, and turn everything back on. Squeeze your face, squeeze your arms, squeeze your abs, lift your kneecaps, squeeze your thighs, lift through your body, through your muscles, squeezing your toes. Maybe your body's shaking. Squeeze, 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 reach, 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 reach. And then relax, just melt right back into your mat. Draw your arms right back to your body's side. Take a deep breath in, breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then very gently turn to your right side. Just roll to your right side, make a little pillow for your right ear with your right arm. And let's take a few breaths here. Breathing in, exhaling out, breath in, exhale out. One more big breath in, and let it all go. Let everything go with that final breath. And then press yourself back up into your mat, onto your mat, pressing your sit bones into your mat, sitting up with a nice tall spine, lifting up through the shoulders, through the crown of your head, as though a little string is holding you up from the ceiling. Let's reach our shoulders up towards our ears, roll them back, squeezing our shoulder blades together as tightly as we can, and then press our fingertips down on either side of our body. Let's sweep our arms up towards the ceiling, and palms are going to meet, and then we draw our fingertips down, pressing the fingertips together as tight as you can, almost a little tug of war going on. We're going to dial the fingertips down and take a look at our wrists. This is really, really good for that computer work we talked about, cell phone work we talked about. You may even feel a little bit of tension and strain in your forearms as you're doing this. Pinkies are facing towards your body. Push, 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 push. And then release that. Bring those fingertips right back up. Let's separate the hands, press into the floor of the mat, and take a final little fold here for our low back. Careful with the knees, careful with the low back. and then lift right back up. Hands can come back to heart center, or you can rest them on your knees, whichever is more comfortable to your shoulders and your chest. Let's take a deep breath in. Deep exhale out. Namaste.